Oh, it's too dark. Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So, okay guys, I don't really have anything I want to any content that I want to upload today or talk about today. So I thought I could come on and just chat with you guys if you want to talk about anything or ask any questions. Hey Lisa, I'll gladly answer questions if you guys have any. I have been highlighting in the book. Hey Shay, girl, bye. Girl, bye. Another lie. Hey Tasha, girl, bye. Another lie. Hey mom. Hey mama. So I don't know if you guys had seen. Hey Krissy. I got the NA text, basic text, which is what we're going to be doing on Sundays, and I am going through it and I'm highlighting. And oh, hey Shay, y'all. Hey metalheads. Why? I won't skip you anymore, girl. I'm sorry. It's nothing personal, I swear. In fact, I was just got off the phone with Krissy, and I was thinking, you know what? After I get done doing this live stream, if you weren't in this live stream, I was going to text you and see how you was doing, because I saw your Yeah, I think that's what it is. I saw your comment from yesterday talking about that you were tired and that you had just got in from being out of town, and so I was going to check on you today. Actually, I am 37. I'm stressing over my asshole ex-husband and I'm in a funk. Well, you know what? That's 3 of you guys that are in a funk today. I know how that goes, girl. Tired. So I got Krissy, Shay, and Tasha. Y'all are all 3 in a funk. So that happens sometimes, you guys. I think we talked about that yesterday, That is so sweet of you. Thank you. I feel like okay, so here's the thing, you guys. Yesterday's video, The Struggle is Real, we talked about living life on life's terms. Yes, my love. Oh, don't cry, baby. Daddy will be home in a little bit. Hey, Cindy. Welcome. Welcome. Hey, Reaper Man. Everybody listen. Life keeps on going.
Mommy.
Yeah, baby. I don't know. I'll have Reaper Man. Why do you call yourself Reaper Man? Nate wants to know. If I drop off, it's because I fell asleep. I have to wake up at 3:30. Oh, hey, Dragon Lady. It's the weather. The barometric pressure is all crazy. I'm trying to help my younger sister, and I'm at a loss. Hey, thanks, Avery Jack. You're so sweet, baby girl. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. He has never-ending issues holds up our daughters over my head, puts me down. He's still in active addiction, hasn't been caught, but girl, listen to me, Tasha. You got to understand that if he is still in active addiction, anything he says is null and void, girl. If he's talking crazy to you, you need to let it go in one ear and out the other, because whatever he's saying, he's in active addiction, You just need to keep on doing what you need to do to stay on the right track, okay? You just got to keep on doing what Tasha has to do to stay sober and take care of your babies, okay? Don't let him get you down. What's going on, Cindy? What's going on with your, I think you said your daughter? I'm sorry, let me see. Cindy says, my sister, younger sister. What's going on with your sister, girl? You are the only one that travels with me. It's great to see you when I'm on the road and keeps me motivated. Hey, listen, you guys, I was at work today, and I used to get on and just kind of pop on when I was at work. And don't get sucked into his crazy, Tasha. My mom said he is deflecting, and that's true too, you guys. Like, a lot of the times when we're in active addiction, we will try to push what we're feeling on the inside or make you, the other person, look like they're not doing what they need to be doing, when in all actuality it's just because we're ashamed and we have guilt and shame because of what we are doing, and we know it's not right, shoot, my mom knows all about deflection. I probably used to deflect all the time, huh, Mom? And I also used to do stuff like blame stuff on my sisters, you know. Just dropping in to say hi. Hey, Danny.
Mommy, you blame yourself?
Not anymore. But I used to, baby. I used to have a lot of guilt and shame, but now I'm working through it. And that's what I got to do, is just work through it. I was a pro. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Danny. I hope you're doing okay, girl. How's your husband doing? Nate, please get back on that thing, because you're going to... I spent the entire day yesterday. We got back. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. Nate, get over there, please. Oh, thank you. Sorry. He's coming right here in the crack, and he's gonna. You're gonna knock my phone over. Nate, there's your thing. Here. That's. Okay, so what is going on with Cindy? I just didn't see your comment, girl. Cindy. Oh, I can't see it for some reason. Lisa, what did she say? Pray for me. My mom is in Vegas and we argue a lot. She yells and I get offended because I'm, oh, girl. I'll pray for you. Listen to me. I have that same situation, not with my mom. Hey, Robbie. Not with my mom, but with my mother-in-law. We just don't get along. I set up classes. I would go to her not ready. Yeah, Cindy, it is. Well, here's the thing. It's always good. Why don't you do this, Cindy? Okay? Bring her over here or invite her over here to the channel, or just send her the link to the channel and say, hey, this is a channel about recovery. And this girl tells her stories about, being in active addiction and getting sober, and have her come over here. I have a lot of people that watch my channel that are still in active addiction. And I even have some girls that were in active addiction that got sober, and they were watching my videos for months before they ever got help, before they ever got sober. Go to check out your NA video later tonight. I just uploaded like the first little bit of it because look, I got Sonia sent it to me. The basic text of NA. And so like if we can start getting her over here to come hang out with us and just kind of like plant the seed about recovery, plant the seed that there's hope. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times, here's the thing, you guys, a lot of addicts don't know where to look for help, or they don't think that they are helpable. Right? They don't think they're capable of recovery. And so when they come over here and they like hang out with us and they hear about how far each one of us has gone down in our addiction, it's her sister. Then they think, oh, well, if Nicole was an IV drug user and was homeless, maybe I can get sober. Do you know what I'm saying? It gives them hope. And so sometimes we just need to plant that seed, and the seed of willingness, and then it will grow. You know what I mean? And we hopefully, that's how everybody finds their way, is by hearing about someone else who has gotten sober, And so tell her to come over here. Tell her, you could give her my email. You can give her my Instagram. You can send me her phone number through, if you want to email me, my email is in the description and in my About Me. I will reach out to her personally for you if you want me to. People ask me at NA where I heard of NA, and I tell them from the movie Half Baked. So that's what I really think happens, you guys, is, okay, so from the outside looking in, okay, from a person who is sober, who doesn't struggle with addiction, and say like a sister, like Cindy, having a sister who is in active addiction, looking at her, you think, well, she must like being that way. She just gets high all the time, and she steals, and she lies, and she cheats. And from a non-addict looking in, we think, well, I guess they just want to be like that, right? But if we can get, like me, because I've been there and I'm a recovering addict, I can share with you what I was like when I was in active addiction. I wanted to be sober. I wanted to get sober, you guys. But the thing about it was that was my life. I had gotten to a point where everything I did was centered around drugs, okay? I didn't know how to function without drugs. I want to try and get a hold of her. And okay, Cindy, go ahead. Yeah, okay, yes. So that's a misconception, is that a lot of people from the outside looking in, they think, oh, well, it's just some type of moral failing. Oh, they are choosing that way of life. It really is a mental illness, a sickness, an obsession of the mind, you guys. And you know what you can do, Cindy? The more you educate yourself on learning about addiction and learning that it literally is an illness and that she is sick, her mind is not well, you know, and her body obviously too, because she's probably dependent on drugs, you know. It's the mind and the body are sick, and then we also have this spiritual malady, this void, this hole inside of ourselves, right? And that's why we fill our bodies up with drugs and alcohol, because we're trying to fill this never-ending hole. You couldn't do you without being under the influence. You did not love yourself, right? And I had to use drugs to be okay, or to feel like I was okay, because I just gotten to a point where I didn't know how to be me without being high. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go to the store. I couldn't drive a car. I couldn't go to a Christmas dinner. I couldn't go to church. You guys, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't have sex. I couldn't, like, anything. Go to a concert, go out to eat, nothing without being messed up. Because that became my normal everyday life. And what happens is, it started out as me doing that because I was like, yeah, I like the way drugs make me feel, right? I like this high, right? It started out as I felt I liked the way it made me feel. But then what happens is we cross an imaginary line where we lose the power of choice. And it's no longer about the feeling produced, because we're not even getting that feeling anymore. We're just barely maintaining. What, baby? Oh, well, come here and sit down. Nate's sad because his daddy had to go to work for a little bit, you guys. Hey, look. Look. Don't cry. Come here. You later. Okay. When drugs and alcohol, you guys, become your everyday process of living, then that the choice that you used to make to get high is no longer a choice. It's autopilot. Your mind and your brain is hijacked, okay? And the pleasure sensor. Do you remember what we talked about when the brain is hijacked? It's because the drugs go and they ping off the reward system in your brain. So, you know how you get dopamine and serotonin, and you have like, oh yeah, I feel good. I want to go do something when you're just a regular person. That's dopamine, that's serotonin, that's those good feelings that our brain produces naturally. Well, a drug addict starts using drugs and their brain stops producing those feel-good feelings naturally. Okay? And then what happens is they have to use drugs and alcohol to produce those feel-good feelings. Okay? And so that's how they are able to get out of bed and go do things, go work a job, because their brains stop producing that chemical, and then their brains are hijacked because their brain is dependent on that chemical to produce those feelings to get them motivated about life. So now you have a person who's chemically dependent, okay, on these chemicals to produce the normal things a regular person's brain produces, right? And so then you wonder why somebody has a hard time getting off, because when they get sober, you guys, then they get sober, right? Okay, I stopped doing drugs. Life's supposed to be better now. Wrong. Your brain's not producing those feel-good chemicals anymore, the regular ones that your brain used to naturally produce. So now what do? Relapse. A lot of people relapse because of that, because their brains don't go back to being the same. And so that's why a lot of people, especially opiate addicts, relapse. Are you going to be okay now? Listen to me. Your daddy will be back in just a couple hours, son. Give me a kiss. Look at me. Do you want me to put on a new show for you? Okay. Come on, let's go look. Help your old mom up. Help your old mom up. Help me. Okay, let me put you a different show on. You're going to be all right, son. Don't cry.
Still watch this stuff?
Yeah, what show do you want to watch?
I watch.
Which one?
I want to watch. Can I pick which one? Go down a little bit. Go down. Up a little bit.
Baby, where?
Let me show you. Up. Go up.
Here, I'm going to let you choose it. There you go. You can't go up anymore. Sorry, guys. My chingity bop wanted to watch a different show. Hey, Mom! Thanks, Mom. Let me read y'all's comments. Okay, so we're always chasing the feeling we got the very first time we tried. Yep. And you'll see I'm bipolar. I take 3 medications for mine. Oh, listen, Cindy, a lot of people who struggle with the disease of addiction are also dual diagnosis with mental illness.
So I can go up again? Can you make it so I can go up again?
Yeah, hold on, son. Hold on, guys. All he looks for is drug seeking. Yeah, she probably needs to go to a psychiatrist that specializes in mental illness and addiction. Okay, Nate, what do you want to watch, Bubba's?
Go up. Go up.
Here. There's your old mom. Look. Hey!
I'm looking for that car one. The car one.
Nate, come on now.
With the car one. You just
I don't know, son.
you don't know. I wanna go pick Ethan Gully.
Where are they at?
Go down that one. Go
Where?
up,
Here?
that one. Go down.
That one?
I said not down.
Here, Nate. Here. Mercy, son. I tell you what. Okay. Sorry, guys. Nate's chilling. Now he's happy. Let's see your chats. Okay, just let her know that it's on his... Yes, self-medication is, it's so, everybody always, okay, so whenever I started using drugs, a lot of the things, what would you say, Mom? No, Cindy, you cannot save her, okay? I know that you love your sister, and I know nothing's wrong with him, Mama. He's sad because Neil went to work for a couple hours to unload the grocery truck. Cindy, all we can do, girl, is encourage her to come over and hang with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is her drug of choice, if you don't mind me asking? Heroin? We gotta plant that seed inside of her, you know, and hopefully encourage her to get her life together. It's just so hard, you guys, because Mom, you guys can ask my mom. My mom, whenever I was in active addiction, I think, how many years did you, like, really... My parents tried to help me at the beginning, you guys. Like, they gave me chances. They let me move back in a couple times. Heroin. See, the thing about it with heroin is it's just got such a strong grip because of the physical dependence that a person has after being, you know, addicted to it. It's like they can't stop using it because they get so sick, so ill. So... You know what? If she could get into detox, would she go to detox? If we could find her a detox treatment center to go to? Yeah, heroin and Xanax can kill her. But here's the thing, like, a lot of people don't think that they can get into a place. So, you know, if we could find her a detox place, I'll help you find her a detox, girl. Where do y'all live? What state are you in? Tell her about Suboxone. Yeah, I mean, Indiana. Cindy, email me, girl. I'm going to give you my friend Saul's number. Saul Kane is his name, and he will get her into detox. He actually owns a treatment center there in Indiana, or I think he owns it. Yeah, email me and I'll send you his phone number. Okay? Educate yourself on the disease of addiction. But listen, like I said, I know Saul, and then I know this guy named Brian Kendrick, and then his associate that he works with, his name is Marty. Lisa is in Indiana too, and we will help you find a place for her to go. But here's the thing, okay? She's gonna get in there, and we can get her detox off of heroin, but she's gonna have to follow up and either go into residential with hopefully if when I give you Saul's number, he'll be able to get her into detox that will just transfer her into treatment, so she'll have like long-term treatment after that. Hey, baby girl. Hey, Sandra. Love you, girl. Someone who is stubborn and scared could be persuaded with the help of Suboxone. Yes. So here's the thing. I think, Robbie, a lot of people that are on heroin, I always want to, this is my recommendation or my suggestion. If you are on heroin and you want to taper and like not go into rehab, then I would go from heroin and then I would go to Suboxone, and then I would stick on that for a little bit and start going to meetings, get a therapist, and get active in my recovery. But if you can get into a treatment center where you can stay for treatment, like a 30, 60, 90-day treatment, then you might not have to go from heroin to Suboxone. You know what I'm saying? But if she gets out of treatment, like I did, this is what happened to me, you guys. I got out of rehab after being in rehab for 30 days, and I was still really struggling with the desire to use. So that's when I got put on Suboxone. So it's so different for everybody. I don't ever want to suggest something to you. I will tell you though that being on Suboxone has saved my life, and that it's really helped me. And now what I'm doing is I'm tapering low and slow with my doctor, and it's been the best thing that I could have ever done, you guys. That is what she wants for here in Kokomo. They only have 7-day detox, which is no help. Yeah, so Cindy, if you'll just message me, either email me at demeon@yahoo.com, or you can Twitter message me or Instagram message me, and I will get you connected with those people in Indiana that I'm friends with. So anytime you guys have a need to get into treatment, if you guys will just let me know where you live, I pretty much know somebody in almost every state that can help you find treatment. Okay? So that's not a problem. The thing about it is, oh, bye, Lisa. Love you, girl. The thing about it is like, when I was in active addiction, you have to remember that, guys, that when you're in active addiction and somebody's trying to help you find treatment, you can't be picky about where you go. So if these people will give her this option to go into treatment, then she just has to go, because there's people out there dying that won't ever get that chance to go into treatment, and that's what I have been seeing happen. Not saying that your sister's going to do that, but let me share with you guys what I have been seeing happen with a lot of kids that we try to get help for. I'll say, hey, there's this treatment plan, it's 60 days. And they'll say, well, no, I don't want to go for 60 days, and I want to go somewhere where my boyfriend's at. And I'm like, what? Honey, if I'm offering you a free 60-day treatment program and you're telling me where and what you want to do, then that just shows me you don't obviously want this treatment. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just got to take what we can get, because that's this is an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've been seeing a lot lately is I'll work my ass off calling around all these places to find somebody a scholarship, and then what they'll tell me is that they don't want to go because they can't take their boyfriend with them, or they can't take their girlfriend, or that's too far away, and I'm like, I thought you were dying from the disease of addiction. You know what I mean? So make sure that you're this is serious, you guys. There's so many people who would die to have an opportunity to go to treatment. So always remember to be grateful and thankful if somebody offers to help you with that. You know what I mean? Right. Can you talk about what you were going to say to those of us that are depression? Oh, yeah, I do get sidetracked. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that. So for some reason, when I first got sober, I thought that when I got sober that everything was going to be easy. I thought that life wasn't going to be hard. Oh, it's okay, Cindy. I thought life wasn't going to be hard. For some reason, I had this unrealistic expectation. Let's talk about that now. I had this unrealistic expectation that because I was sober, that life was going to somehow be easier. But I'm going to tell you, like, life is the same as it was when I was getting high. I'm just not getting high anymore. So there's not that extra added drama and chaos. So it makes it just a little bit easier. But I'm going to tell you, you know what? There's days where I don't want to move around. Like, I don't want to, like, okay. Yesterday, I didn't want to go to Hot Springs. I was tired. I didn't want to drive all the way to Hot Springs, even if it was my dad's birthday. And, but I knew how important it was that I went to see my dad for his birthday, because it would have broke his heart, y'all, if I didn't come, okay? Hey, girl. Hey, S. Williams. And so I went ahead and I pushed through. I got up and I went. And you guys, I felt so much better after I went. And that's one of the things that I feel like I've had to learn to kind of like, I kind of had to kind of learn to like get up and push through that like barrier, you know, where I'm like not wanting to do anything, because I always feel so much better when I do. You know what I'm saying? But if for some reason you're struggling and you can't, you know, get up and go do anything, like Krissy said, it always makes me feel better when I can talk to a friend, a trusted friend that I can just open up and just cry and laugh and joke and just talk to. That always raises my morale a little bit. You know what I mean? Self-care is always, yes, but you did, and we loved having you. Yeah. And so here's the thing, Mom. Bye, Reaper Man. Love ya. For me, and I know Krissy will agree with this, it was hard for me to hold relationships, you guys, because I flaked all the time. And so getting sober now I'm, and you guys, I actually, let me tell y'all a story. So there was two girls that I was hanging out with the first year of my sobriety, my friend Krissy and my friend Heather. And they are sober through AA. They're abstinence-based sober, but they were like my tightest girlfriends. In fact, Krissy sponsored me for like 6 months, and Heather was a counselor at the treatment center I went to. So when I graduated from treatment, we started going to meetings together. We started going walking together. We started reading the big book together and just doing stuff together. Well, I got into a rut where I didn't want to leave my house. And I'm going to tell you guys this. I stayed in that rut for like 8 months, where they would invite me out to do stuff and I would stand them up and not show up. They would invite me to meetings and I wouldn't go. 8 months where I struggled to leave my house, to do anything except for take my son to go play at the playground. Okay. And that was like, I literally would sit in my car with the air conditioner on, because I just didn't want to do anything. But it's a little bit different because I have a kid. I have to push myself, you know. But if I didn't have Nathaniel, I probably would have never left the house. I would have laid in the bed in a depression. And so I'm going to tell you this. Don't go and have a kid, but Nathaniel helps me to push me a little bit. You know what I mean? He's a blessing because he encourages me, whether he knows it or not, to get up. Because I don't always feel like getting up. And I know you guys think that I'm always happy. I know that you think that because I hear people that comment it on my channel. Because I am upbeat and I come on here and I share with you guys. But I'm going to tell you right now, like, when I turn the camera off, sometimes I'm just like, ugh. And it's not because I'm unhappy. It's not because I'm unhappy on the inside. It's just because sometimes my brain, like, doesn't, I don't know how to explain it other than, like, lack of motivation, no fire, you know what I mean? And then I'll start beating myself up about, you know, being overweight and not doing enough for my son and not doing enough exercise and eating right. And so, but here's the thing, what I have realized is that when I'm negative and in those negative thoughts like I'm doing right now, that makes me go down. And I'm telling you, it's my mind. My mind will go to those negative thoughts. And then I go over the negative thoughts and over the negative thoughts and over the negative thoughts. And so I know what I'm doing. It's like I get in this rut. And I have gotten to this point where it's like when I start focusing on the negative thinking like I am right now, like beating myself down about eating too much and being overweight and being unhappy because I sweat and I feel fat, right? Getting upset because my mother-in-law won't help me with my son because I need a babysitter while I go to work. Like, because these things, you guys, I have real life problems, like in real life, you know? And I'll start just going over them and over them and over them. And then I get overwhelmed. And then I'm like, fucking, by the time I'm done, I'm like about to scream, you know? And so what I have been practicing is like, I can't do anything about it. I can't change it overnight, right? And that's something that I've really, really had to work hard on. All I can do is take small little steps forward in making progress, okay? Because what our brains like to do as addicts is look at the problem, the big old giant problem as a whole, and we look at it, we go, I'm not fixing that right away, so I'm failing. But what problem, even if it's a math problem or a problem like as in designing something or driving somewhere, what problem can we tackle all at once and finish just like that? Even in a math problem, you have to work out the formula to get to the end, right? So here I am, your girl Nicole likes instant gratification. I want to start the problem and finish it all at one time. But that's not how it works. I have to go through the formula to get to the end. And so that's what I'm having to train my brain, is that, Nicole, good things, change doesn't happen overnight. And to obtain change, I have to work the formula. And so I have to start, middle, finish, you know? And so I feel like, you guys, and I know it's because I'm an addict, I feel like a lot of us addicts, we have this unrealistic expectation of the way life is, that I'm supposed to start things and finish them all at one time. And that's not realistic. Realistically, that's why I'm trying to bring myself back into reality, because for so long I was out of touch with reality. That's what it is. Okay? I have this unrealistic sense of what reality is, and reality is struggle. Reality is taking it one day at a time. Yes, I think about it. We start our periods, and then we're 12 and 13. We go through perimenopause, then menopause. And so that's what it is. It's like the unrealistic expectations that I'm supposed to like change overnight, right? And so when we get in this depression funk that a lot of us go through, right? I'm sure even you guys can relate. Robbie, I know you can relate, where we are beating ourselves down and we're focusing on the negative and we're thinking we need to change overnight and we think we're not good enough, right? Then what happens is we get stuck focusing on that, right? And so if we can stop focusing on where we're not at and start focusing on where we're going, okay? So I'm not there yet, but baby, I'm on the road. At least I'm on the damn road. Get on the road, y'all. That's what you got to do. You got to get on the road and start traveling. Stop beating yourself up for not being there yet and get on the damn journey, okay? Now, I can't make you get on the journey, so you got to get your ass up out of that bed and come get on the journey with us, you know? That's those unrealistic expectations, Tasha. You are not going to be able to do it overnight, girl. Just take it one step at a time, right? Okay? One thing at a time. if I was you, the thing that I would start working on with your situation, Tasha, is I would start limiting the amount of contact that you have to have with your ex-husband because he's an active addiction. And I would pull somebody in from the outside who can be a mediator, so you don't have to talk with him, and you can have somebody that works as a buffer in between you two. So that way, that right there, hey Brian, that right there, you don't have to, hear that BS all the time. You can have somebody there to help you and support you through that. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of times is we think we have to do everything on our own. We have to tackle everything. And sometimes, you guys, it's okay to like say, hey, I need some help with this. Like, this is a situation that's really causing me a lot of grief, and I just don't want to deal with this, Yeah, Cindy, here's the thing with that. She's not going to forgive herself until she gets sober. Good. And even then, when she gets sober, it's struggle. I have like worked for 3.5 years on forgiving myself for the things that I did in my active addiction, especially related to my son, because I was just a wreck when I had my kid, when I first had my son. So it's the guilt and shame that addicts carry is so deep. It goes back farther than things that you guys could ever even understand. And yes, I just feel alone. Yeah, so that's why you need to bring somebody else on to help you with that situation, Tasha, because that's just a trigger. Like, you don't need to be going around him if he's acting crazy. So, what was I saying? I had the same problem. Okay, what was I saying? Now you guys get me back on track. Oh, okay. With Cindy. Okay, so it's easy to say, like, okay, just forgive yourself, right? Just forgive yourself. Just forgive yourself. When you're working to forgiveness, it is a process. Okay, so what they teach us in the 12 steps is that, okay, for me, what I had to learn in the 12 steps was, my step 1 was surrendering. Surrendering and saying, hey, I'm powerless over drugs and alcohol. And when I take that stuff into my body, I don't know how to act right, and it ruins my life. I'm powerless, right? I surrender. All right. Then I had to believe. I had to come to believe in a power greater than me. That power could help me and restore me to sanity, right? Then we do our 4th step, where we take inventory and we start looking inside of ourselves at our character defects. We start addressing things like resentments. We start looking at our guilt and shame and how we don't forgive ourselves, because a lot of us addicts resent ourselves. And so through the process of working through a 4th, 5th, 6th step with your sponsor and praying and asking for forgiveness from your higher power, what happens is, and listen, you guys, like, I'm not going to say, oh, I got done doing my 4th step and I was like, yes, I forgive myself. It's like a process that I've worked through. You know what I mean? I always look back to see how far you've come. So proud of you. You're growing every day. Oh, I love you too, Mom. Thank you. Okay, so let me explain it to you like this. Let me give you an example. Hey, Leonard. So you guys go subscribe to her Opiate Fixes channel. That's my best friend. And my sister loves her bag, Leonard. I just went over to my mom and dad's house yesterday and talked to her. Thanks so much, guys. You know what, Tasha? You don't need to hate that. Like, it's just regular, girl. The first 3 years of my sobriety, you guys, like, I swear to God, I probably cried every single day. I was a wreck. Okay? But let me work with you guys on this forgiveness, okay? So let me pick out something that I have forgiven myself for, and I'm going to share it with you guys. Okay. So probably one of the first things that I started working on was forgiving myself for using drugs and alcohol when I was pregnant with my son. Okay? I hated myself. I had so much guilt, not only guilt, but shame, because I used it while I was pregnant. I had so much shame that I couldn't even share about it because I was so ashamed. And I was so worried that if I told you that I used while I was pregnant, that you were going to think horribly about me and hate me. But not only that, I didn't forgive myself because I put my son in harm's way, and my son could have been affected by that. And that was the hardest thing that I've ever had to forgive myself for. And, it's easy to say, well, you were sick. You were sick. And even my sponsor would say, Nicole, you were sick. That was not the Nicole that's sitting in front of me today. But to me, when I was going through that process of learning how to forgive myself, I am still the same person. My behaviors and my perception and the way I present myself is different because I'm not in active addiction, but I'm still Nicole. So I still did that. And part of the forgiveness process for me was taking responsibility that I did that. Taking responsibility that I did not give a fuck about what happened and that I did that. So that's what it was. It was because I didn't care about anything else but drugs and alcohol. So whenever it came to life or death, my child or me, I was focused on one thing and one thing only, and that was substance abuse, getting high. And so taking responsibility for my actions was the first step to forgiveness for me. Okay? And then learning about the disease of addiction and why I chose substances over the safety of myself and my child. Okay? I started to have to learn that my brain was hijacked. And that has really helped me to understand that I might have been Nicole. Nicole did that. But I wasn't sane. I wasn't in my right state of mind. I wasn't whole when I was doing that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I wasn't mentally whole. My mental faculties weren't about me. Like, I should have been committed, you guys. That's how insane I was when I was on drugs. Like, I was a crazy person. So whenever I learned, like when I started learning about the disease and learning how, the brain is affected by addiction, and then my choices are affected by addiction, and taking responsibility that I did make those decisions at that time, and knowing that my decision making was influenced by the substances I was taking, though. And that's what I had to start learning. And then I became able to forgive myself, because I realized that because I was under the influence and because my brain wasn't in like 100% working mode, I made choices that were not safe for me or my baby. And does that take the responsibility off of me? Absolutely not. But I can forgive myself for that today because I know that I was sick. And I know that I was suffering. Okay? And I'm so grateful to God that He delivered my son so healthy and beautiful and perfect. And I know that the reason my son is healthy, beautiful, and perfect is because God performed a miracle in my life. And that was the first moment that God showed me that He was here and that He was trying to pull me out of that darkness, was when my son was born. And he was born healthy. Because I was high when I gave birth. I was under the influence when I had my son. And so that's why I know that my son is a miracle, because I was out of my mind.
Oh my God.
What? Baby, Daddy will be home in like an hour, buddy. You're fine. Why are you crying? Come here and sit with me. So, I'm fixing to get off here because I don't want him to be upset. He's a daddy's boy. I'm telling you guys right now that God performed a miracle in my life. And I know that I don't ever want to offend anybody because, God is my higher power. But the only thing I can explain to you guys is that it was a miracle. Like a miracle that my son was born healthy and happy and safe. Because I was in full-fledged active addiction when I was pregnant with my son. The whole time I was IV, intravenously shooting up methamphetamine, smoking crack cocaine, taking all kinds of pills. It was just horrible. So, you know, I know that somebody out there, some power that's greater than me, you know, took my son and saved him and spared my son so that way today I could have him, and he's a blessing. You know, he has saved my life. And that's the only thing I can explain it to you guys. Hey Bonnie, is that my son was spared because he saved my life. I don't know how to explain it any other way. I tried so many times before to get sober. So many times, you guys. So many times before I got pregnant. And I failed miserably every single time. Every single time. God knew that my child, that I had to have something to care about other than myself, because I didn't care about myself at all. And that's what happens to a lot of us, you guys, is we just get to this point where we don't care about ourselves at all, you know? And that's where I was at because of my addiction. And that's another reason why I forgive myself, because I know that I was torturing myself because I didn't love myself. So I'm gonna go see if Nate's okay. Come here, baby. He's sad because he misses his daddy, but I just wanted to come on here and chat with you guys for a little bit. I love you guys so much, and God brought her back to me. Oh my gosh, Tasha, that is a miracle. See, you guys, it's a miracle. That's what it is. And a lot of us stories like this, if we'll think back, there's other stories I'm sure that you guys can tell of times where you came close to death and almost died and overdosed, and God spared you. And the reason he spared you is because you're here to share your story and to help somebody else. And that's what's so important. Hey, Raby, what's up? No, baby, I'm not from Los Angeles. We are here to share our stories, you guys, and to spread a message of hope and recovery, you know? So, I love you guys. I'm going to go hang out with Nate and comfort him, but I love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for Big Book Study. Bye, y'all.